Opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television for April 21st, 2023. Now, tonight you might notice I'm trying to use my radio voice more. That's because I watched last week's episode, and I think I'm getting lazy on camera. I used to worry about this stuff when I just did a podcast. And I would over enunciate and really project and of course I also kept the microphone like 3 inches from my face. But when I watched it, I sound lazy now. Or I could have had a stroke. Who knows? Katie Followell is my co-host tonight. Hi, Katie.
Hi. Do I need a radio?
Do you need a what? A radio what?
Do I need a radio voice?
Oh, no, your voice is lovely. It's lilting. That's how you got the job. Calm down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I hired you as is. Although you look pretty rough.
That's the warning they gave on the label.
she apparently has indigestion or some bullshit tonight. Anyway.
Yeah, I eat ramen too fast. Hope if I log off it's because I'm gonna go be bloated. So
hey, tomorrow's vlog on my Patreon project is all about being bloated. Believe it or not, everyone. And tonight's guest, Beverly McChesney. Beverly McChesney representing the new kid in town, the Full Moon's Sisters Bazaar. So, and why am I moving around so much? I know why, because I'm off balance because I'm carrying a boat anchor. And I need to get right here because, now, everyone, okay, I told you about my radio voice. So yes, I'm going to try to be more animated in my speech like I used to be. And we have two celebrity announcements tonight. And they are related, sort of. I've got that pulled up on the trivia page here. And I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat room tonight. I thought you were going to be a little slow coming on board, but now it's rolling now. I can't wait for the little board to say, hey, you've got 100 messages. Hi, Bev. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Wes?
Well, I'm doing quite well, despite what the doctors tell me.
You're in pretty good shape for the shape you're in?
And okay, now, I address this like every episode since this all happened. I'm really tired of people telling me how good I look now.
I told you first thing tonight. I said you look 10 years younger.
Now I feel 10 years younger. Actually, I feel 1 year younger because I actually felt pretty good right up until October, maybe September of 2022. But it surprises me because when I look in the mirror, I notice no difference. But people like you keep telling me how.
Well, you've probably seen yourself in a different perspective than most of us see you.
Well, that's just fucking scary right there. That is. So anyway. So anyway, everybody, the theme of the show of tonight's show is that I look 10 years younger than I did when nobody was telling me how shitty I looked. So, thank y'all.
If he acts 10 years younger, if you act 10 years younger, we should be scared.
I didn't act that. I wasn't that good 10 years ago. That's the other big boner in all of this. 10 years ago, I was still I became a curmudgeon at like 40, 41. So yeah, I've been in this mindset for 20 years because I got thrown from a lot of horses when I was young. Anyway, enough about me. Enough about me. We are talking tonight about the Full Moon Sisters Bazaar, April 29th through 30th. Those playing the home game, that is next weekend. The address is Southland Drive.
326.
You've got it memorized.
326 Southland Drive.
And that is the old Shriners building.
It is.
Aren't they still a thing? Did they just move to another building, or did they?
No, they're still there. It's the old Temple building on Southland Drive, and they are still there. They just are letting us use their facility, rent their facility. And yeah, they're still there helping the kids at Shriners Hospital, doing all the good things.
Well, I knew the hospital was there. It's just you don't hear about Shriners like you used to. Like, what was it? They used to ride like tricycles in parades.
All those little cars
like
and
the little cars.
They still do at my town. They still do here in Danville.
Well, yeah, but that's Danville.
I haven't been to a parade in a long time, so I don't know.
Katie, just remember, you on Facebook, you put that you were coming home and people were sitting on the sidewalk playing banjos. So I'm just saying,
awesome. That was the best day.
So okay,
Beverly, is this Shriners Hospital? Does that look haunted over there? Because I'm looking at it on Google Maps.
Well, no, they have the new
haunted?
Shriner. They actually have a new Shriners Hospital at UK on UK's campus. And the old Shriners Hospital has been sold to Easter Seals. So, yeah. But the old temple, the temple, yes, it is very haunted. As a matter of fact, Mama Ruby's and Marley Knockers have offered to do a ghost hunt there as a fundraiser for the Shriners.
That's awesome.
That's something we'll work on in the future, but we're going to have a public ghost hunt there.
I think most of these old lodges. See, now the old lodges, apparently the ones dying nowadays don't want to stick around or whatever. You don't hear about the new lodges being haunted.
This elevator door opens and closes. It goes up and down by itself. There's feet. There's people talking. I've heard some of it myself. It's a busy building.
I was looking at it on Google Maps, and I was like, that feels haunted. Yeah, that looks it.
Well, great. Now she's a psychic, too. This is just a whole show.
I am, yeah.
Okay. Full Moon. First of all, where did the name come from? Because I've actually been saying it wrong. I've been posting it right, but I've been saying it wrong. It's Full Moon Sisters, and I've been saying Full Moon, and it's going right on, and nobody's called me on it.
That's because we're full of tricks. But years ago, my actual sisters and I had an event in this lovely facility out on Newtown. And we came up with that name. And it was the first show I ever did. And we were going to be FULL Moon Sisters, but somebody had that name, so we took the other one. And that was maybe 10, 12 years ago. And so when we were determining what to name this event, my current partners, who are sisters at heart, said, let's just use that one. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So Full Moon Sisters Bazaar it is.
A lot of things get done just with the answer, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That pretty much describes 2/3 of my career. Now, you found this great location. By all accounts, it's pretty neat place to have something like this. Okay, now this is only because I know you, so this question won't mean anything to the people in the chat room. What drove you back into the business?
Business, my husband wants to know the same thing. Even my partners want to know the same thing. Of course, we had the Spirit of Light Festival all ready to go when COVID hit. And we postponed it, and we postponed it, and we postponed it. And then we just had to stop. And so I just felt like there was unfinished business. and we needed to get back to business. Plus, I can't not do nothing. I have to have something to do. I have to stay busy. And so that's my staying busy. We have a lot of ideas, lots of plans. It's going to be interesting. We're branching out a little bit.
Cool. Katie, over to you.
Well, I've been wondering, because like I'm interested in it, but my husband's a psychic. Not a psychic, a skeptic. I'm sorry. What would skeptic? I'm the psychic. But what could skeptics enjoy at the bazaar?
Well, if they like belly dancers, there's some of those. There's some of those at the bazaar. If he likes jewelry, there's a lot of that. If he likes homemade banana nut bread, there's some of that.
Oh, he would like that.
If he likes magic, there's some of that. There's a little juggling. There's a little music maybe here and there. It's a vendor show. You know, there's lots of vendors, lots of energy workers, healers, jewelry, handcrafted things, art, psychics, as always. But we've thrown in some odds and ends just for fun.
That sounds really cool. About how many vendors do you have this year?
We have 65. 65.
Wow.
That's pretty respectable.
We actually oversold the space, and we've had to expand it out a little bit. So that gave us a couple more vendor spaces. I posted today that we had room for a couple more if anybody wanted to sign up. But today or tomorrow's the last day. After that, it'll close down. But we used to do this events that I've done before. We would try to get around 60 vendors, and that's a pretty much a handful. So
that's a bunch.
Well, I think the Central Kentucky Mystical Market, keeps around 40. So that gives you some idea.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the odds and the ends.
The odds and the ends is what makes this one sound really unique to me. It's somebody says, Shay Smith in here says that she can't wait to participate in this event. So I'm hopefully she'll come out.
She is one of the side chicks. Yeah, she is a member of Side Chicks, which is Mama Ruby's travel team of psychics. And hopefully they're going to be doing more things coming up in the future. So
it just looks so neat. Let me look. I'm looking at the description online. If you were a fan of Scarefest, this looks like something that you could be going to.
But it's not a lot different from our other events. It's just a little bigger mix of things to do or see or experience.
Tell you what,
will you be doing a panel there? Oh, sorry.
I am going to do a gallery. Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
While Katie's doing her research, we're going to do a commercial break, everybody. Looking at the webpage while you're there.
Horror. Movies. Fans. For. Life. On Facebook. Find us. For watch parties. For news. For memes. For friends. For life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest TV. Guest tonight is Bev McChesney. We're talking about the Full Moon Sisters Bazaar. Now, I do want to know... Okay, first of all, go ahead and plug myself. Yes, she talked me into coming, everybody. This will be the return of the really bad tarot, which has been missing from the public venue since about February? No, January. Probably January. I haven't done it. Because I do. Okay, now here, psychic. Now we'll talk inside baseball. When I did it in early in the year, I believe it was January, now, of course, now that I know I was having some health problems, it could have been related. But I felt like that show drained me more psychically. Everything felt like a struggle when I did that show. So I'm hoping
you had somebody close to you draining a lot of energy off of you that day too, that weekend.
Well, you're the only person close to me, so I'm going to blame you.
At that event, you had
someone sitting close to me.
Yes, at the event was draining your energy too.
I thought you meant one of these little fucking psychic vampires that float around in my family. Okay.
No, this one was at the event that you were reading at.
Oh. Okay. Since we're on the topic, purposeful or by accident? Because I do believe some psychic vampires just do that by accident.
Probably a little bit of both. I think they knew they were doing it.
Shit, I wish I'd have known. I could have lit them up. Because I would. Okay. Psychic bullshit, everybody. While we're on the topic, I carry enough. We'll call it psychic baggage for the sake of the argument around. In other words, I absorb this stuff. And I digest it. And sometimes I remove it from my body, from my aura, more directly. Purposely, but maliciously, no. Not maliciously. But in other words, intentionally. And if I think someone needs some dark mojo, I've usually got a little bit. And if I'd just known, but I just felt blocked. I just felt like I was out of practice. In other words, the marathon runner that hasn't put on his shoes for 10 years, that kind of thing. So that's how I felt. But hey, if somebody was stealing my mojo, so be it next time. Next time, somebody give me a heads up, damn it, next time. Because apparently I was oblivious to it.
I think usually you're aware of it. You were probably just not feeling really great, and so you didn't consciously or subconsciously take care of yourself. I think normally when you read, you subconsciously do the things readers need to do to protect themselves.
You know what? No, now I'm going to confess to you. Now, maybe I do it, reflexively, but actually, I just count on the band. I count on the spirit guides to take care of me. Lord knows they've taken care of me drunk enough times that
Me too.
Because I've had people say, "Hey, read me when I'm drunk." I say, "I don't do it when I'm drunk. I shut everything down." And that's kind of the deal I have with it. I'm not vulnerable, but I don't push the envelope. Anyway, we now getting back on the weird stuff. A juggler, a magician.
Juggler,
magician caught my eye.
We are still working on the juggler, I have to say. The juggler's not hammered out yet.
Okay.
But the magician is.
The reason I'm listing them like that is I understand you wanted to return. This still seems like an ambitious project for your
go home
return.
Or go big or go home. Go big or go home.
Fair enough. Okay, Katie, did you get your research done?
Yes, I'm gonna just sit and talk. That seems like a fun way to do it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's just how I do stuff. Does it cost money to go? How much does it cost to get into the bazaar?
Right now, if somebody clicks on the ticket link on the Facebook ads and stuff, they can grab a freebie. At the door, it's still very reasonable. It'll be $3 for one day, $5 for two.
Oh, wow.
Normally, something like this would cost a little bit more, but we want people to be able to come. We want our vendors to have plenty of people. And considering it's the first event after several years, we just decided to do everything that we could to keep our vendors happy. So we're
That's
saying, come
awesome.
on. Yeah, come play.
That's awesome. I know I always have wanted to get a tarot reading at a show, but it was so busy every time I wanted one at Scarefest. So I wonder, like, maybe I need to go get one at this show.
Yeah,
I've never had one.
There's some good psychics at this show.
Wes should give me a tarot
probably
reading.
Wes's bad tarot readings are actually very good. Don't let him fool you.
I'm very curious. The name throws me off. Like but Wes, would you give me a bad tarot reading?
Of course, Katie. Of course, I would give you. I might even comp you one just because you're so supportive of me. The whole you got to remember the whole bad tarot reading is like a magician. You're looking over here, but the action's over here. That's why I do it that way.
It works.
In words, that's why the name threw you.
How did you start doing that? Like, what made?
My husband had a reading with Wes that I really wish I had paid more attention to, and it would have saved me a lot of heartburn because Wes was dead on. So
I feel like I could get that vibe. He's a good judge of stuff. Like, Wes,
No,
how
I'm
did
not.
you start doing that?
It started as a goddamn joke, okay? I'm just gonna put it out there.
With a deck of cards, he thought was really cool.
Yeah, but it basically Ken Boggle, Sil in the chat room brought him up. Wonderful tarot card reader, more gifted than I could hope to be. Now that being said, he does like doing his little things for the fans, and one of them includes pulling a card and doing a public reading. And he was doing it, and he was on the road, and I told him, and he couldn't do it. He was busy or something, and I said, I could do this. And so basically, I pulled a card, and it wanted to be funny, and I insulted all the people that went to psychic card readers. The funny part is the tarot card readers all loved it. They were telling me how funny I was and how it was. So, long story short, I actually got stuck in a corner doing it one time when I needed to make gas money, and I did it and found out that people tell me I'm good at it, and so I'll take their word for it. But I kept
when another psychic says a psychic is good, you know they're good.
Actually, I believe that because that's how I tell people how to get. They say, how do I know what psychic to go to? I say, ask a psychic. You say, ask a psychic who they go to. So I do believe that. I do believe that. And okay, now Cheryl Huff in the chat room, tell everyone exactly how to get the free tickets right now.
You can go to eventbrite.com, put in search Full Moon Sisters Bazaar, FOOL, and there you can get all the free passes you want. Easy peasy.
That was
Beverly,
fairly simple.
Because I just went to your panel one day or your gallery at Scarefest. It just, something drew me in there. I just wanted to like listen, and I just was just engrossed in it. But like, how long have you, I know you've talked about reading people in your galleries, but how long have you been in like the convention and show business?
I've only done public readings for about 10 or 12 years. So after I retired and could, you can't work some jobs and tell everybody you're a psychic. You can't work for a governor and tell them that you're a psychic. Voters don't like that much.
Bet you could this one.
Yeah. Actually, this one, the current governor's father fired me one time. So, but I still think he's an exceptionally good governor. I'm
not saying don't take it as an insult. I'm saying this governor does seem to be all warm and touchy-feely though, and I think he would be so afraid of alienating the people that go to psychics that he would not want to. He would not want to kick a psychic out. That could be true.
But
okay. I'm so thrown tonight. Anyway, do we get that straightened out in the chat room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm blaming Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm blaming my upset tummy and my brain fog on that.
See, now I get to blame the doctors. Anyway, okay, it's almost 9:30. We're gonna go ahead and do our celebrity announcements for tonight. This is we've got 2 tonight. Now, I'm gonna put them up, and then a little trivia question. You're gonna tell me in the chat room what they have in common. Okay, our first celebrity announcement, Mr. R.A. Mihailov, good friend, hell of a nice guy, and that is, I can't believe Brandon used that picture to do the banner though. That he looks all warm and fuzzy in that picture.
I know. I was like, man, that's like Santa. Like, I just want to give him a good hug.
Maybe he had heart stents too, and that's his 10 years younger picture. Anyway, R.A. Mihailov, of course, we know him as Leatherface. That was in Leatherface Part 3. Is that right, everybody? Tell me in the chat room if I'm wrong. The Hatchet movie, he's really cool in the Hatchet movie. And but Scarefest fan favorite. Now, Mr. Brett Wagner is coming. Everybody, Brett Wagner. Now, his claim to fames are I can't even read them. And I've had the wrong webpage pulled up. This is so embarrassing. Why did I go back to that page? Besides, this is your trivia question. No, it'll be trivia, but here. Known for Fool's Paradise, Outsiders After Show, We Are Horror. He was he's done his IMDb. Okay, in the chat room. Did Brett Wagner in fact play Leatherface? I'm just gonna say, Google it and tell me, did he in fact play Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Based on his IMDb page, his nickname indicates otherwise. Now you're telling me he did. Why does IMDb tell me that he in fact was cast in the role in 2003 remake? Show me the link. Someone post the link in the chat room, please. That's me and Brandon. We're having this discussion, and this is genuinely me being a horror novice wanting to know, but I could not find the connection on IMDb, and so I actually Googled it, and on the trivia page of IMDb, it says this. Trivia. Click this. Okay, Brett was cast as Leatherface, but he was on the set of Kemper Kill. Brett got heat stroke during the filming and was replaced. Now, is that to say, now, am I reading that wrong? But why isn't he billed on IMDb? That's the International Movie Database, for those of you that don't know. I'm curious. I want to know. And as a matter of fact, no matter what you tell me in the chat room, I'm going to go ahead and invite him on Scarefest TV to explain it to me so that I will know and not have to have this happen again. Okay, continuingly. New word, continuing with the announcements in radio voice now. Scarefest Horror Film Festival is still taking submissions. We're up to like 50 some now, and I've watched like 20 some, so I'm way behind the curve. But if you're involved in the independent horror film business, we are the place to be. And we do have word, it's going to be on or in the building this year. You won't have to walk across the street to watch horror films. The Full Moon Sisters Bazaar, don't forget, that's what we're talking about tonight, more or less. 326 Southland Drive, the old Shriners Building, a magical shopping and entertainment experience. And I will be there, Bev will be there. We may even have Katie talked into going. Central Kentucky Mystical Market, do not forget the next market will be May 20th and 21st. Newtown Pike, the Clarion Hotel. I don't know when they get to move out of the paddock room. I don't know. That would be finishing up the remodel by now. Anyway, and speaker applications are open. Want to get that in there if you want to speak at the Scarefest or do present something like that. The applications are online. Go to scarefestweekend.com. And we're back. We are back, everybody. And so there. Now we're gonna find out about all that stuff. I'm gonna get emails now. Probably the guy will probably cancel because someone actually said, Bev. Now you know me. Now I say a lot of things off the cuff, but I always try to be respectful. And one of the agents, or someone professing to be an agent, we don't think he's a real agent, actually said that when I interviewed a young lady on the show, that I was disrespectful. Or I asked an inappropriate question. That's what it was.
Well, maybe it was a matter of perspective.
I remember flirting.
How did she react when you asked the question?
Oh, she laughed her ass off because I'm pushing 60 years old and pretending to flirt with her. No, she was out of my league when I was her age. So
well, she wasn't insulted then.
I don't think I insulted. I don't think it, and I don't think it was inappropriate. I remember
maybe the pretend manager has a crush on her and just didn't want to see you flirt with her.
That could have been it. All I said, the closest thing that I remember, other than I'm talking about in Terrifier, Catherine Corcoran, and I was a little rough on her. I wasn't rough on her. The scene where they cut her in half, we had a good discussion about that, but I thought we both were very businesslike. She was naked upside down, cut with a hacksaw. But the closest I actually came to saying anything inappropriate, she did a movie when she was like 18. And I thought she was 19 when she did it. And then I asked her about it. She said she was, in fact, 18 and just barely 18. And then I mentioned that I felt guilty now watching it because, well, hot young lady. So there. So,
okay. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I thought of other things that are inappropriate to say when you said she got cut in half. So, what?
Oh, well,
that's either gone in the obviously she went in the attic or the basement. Those are the two places you don't go if you don't want to be cut in half.
Yeah.
This was a warehouse. This was a warehouse, which that kind of looks basementy. It looks basementy. Okay, back to Full Moon Sisters. What's your mix? I know you said my braw's itching. Everybody, I'm sorry. God, anybody who's never watched this show before just absolutely hates me at this moment. Okay, I want to know the mix on vendors. Okay. It seemed the last one I remember that was a Mama Ruby's branded show. If I remember, it felt heavy to me on the psychic side, meaning on the mix of vendors versus people selling crap. I shouldn't say crap. People selling stuff, things, versus people that will give you readings. How's the mix looking this time? Are you psychic heavy? Do you feel like you're vendor heavy?
I think it's a pretty good mix. We've got a few psychics that have never worked with us before. We have Rose Campbell, which you know Rose.
Mm-hmm.
The side chicks, you know all of them. I think 4 of them will be reading. And then there are we have Tilda the Tarot Witch and 3 or 4 others. So, and they all do different things. So it's sort of like, even though you have a lot of different ones, it depends what kind of technique you want to have a person do while they read you. You know, whether it's tarot, whether it's runes, whether it's art pictures, So I don't think we're heavy on. Yes, what?
Do you guys have, because everybody in your group online always asks about past lives. do you guys have somebody there that does past life readings or past life regression? I think that's what it was called.
Hypnotic regression. We do not have a hypnotist there. That's something you would want to do with a board certified hypnotist who would take you completely under for a couple hours for it to be really effective. Yeah, for it to be really effective. But past life readings are fun because they will tell you a couple of your past lives and help you work out some issues based on those. I don't know anybody there that is particularly doing those. They're fairly labor intensive. So,
yeah, you said in there that those were kind of harder to do.
Well, they are for me because I have to go to a different place to get that information. It's like when I read, I either talk to my clients, angels or guides or whatever you want to call them, and past family members, and then when I do those things that are non-personal, I talk to this counsel, and then for past lives, I have to go through. It's like going through a file and finding the right person, the right entity out there to give me the information. So we've all had a bunch of.
I love to hear you talk to people, because even if the questions you get don't like apply, they're not my question, they still are very thought-provoking answers, and how can I apply those to my life? Like, I love to just sit and ponder on that. I don't know.
That's the intent.
Yeah, it's so good. I like, it's just the most interesting. I would consider myself pretty skeptical, and the first year I went in and stepped into your thing, I was working at panels, and everybody was dancing.
Oh, that was the first one we did there. Yeah.
I walked in.
That was the first one. There weren't very many people there, and they told me that the energy needed to be raised, they, meaning who I listened to. And on my phone, I had Aretha Franklin's I Don't Know What You Come to Do, But I Come to Dance. And they told me I had to get everybody up and make them dance. That elevates the energy.
Like, I was so upset that day anyways. Like, I guess I was just tired and just blue, and that it raised my energy. So, but that was just, I guess what I'm trying to say is, viewers, if you're out there and you're skeptical or curious, just go in and listen. It is worth it. I'm very curious of how the bazaar will be, because I just think it will be really thought-provoking and just interesting to hear everybody talk about like their crafts and stuff. It's just very interesting.
Everyone's passionate about their abilities or their art or whatever they're doing, and that's what we look for in vendors. We want somebody who's passionate, who is proud of what they do, who's joyful about what they do, and just loves sharing it. That's the kind of vendors we try to find.
And I need to add.
Other dumb question.
Okay, go ahead.
Mama Ruby?
Am I Mama Ruby? That's a good question. All my partners are Shelley James, who has Akashic Awareness down in E-Town. Bethany Inman, who has Lexington Ghost Walk and Marley Knockers. And Patty Starr, who everybody knows is a new partner. And myself. And collectively, we are Mama Ruby. But the original Mama Ruby was indeed, I was hypnotized and regressed, and I was Mama Ruby, who was Mama Ruby was a slave outside of New Orleans, who was also an herbalist, and that was where the name Mama Ruby came from. But Mama Ruby was kind of mystical, and so the name just worked. So we're Mama Ruby Productions.
I love that.
It's not just me. We're all collectively Mama Ruby.
Yeah, but that's a cool backstory. Yeah. I was just looking at the logo and I was like, oh, that's neat.
Somewhere on the website, somewhere on the website, it tells you. No, that's on my personal website. It talks about Mama Ruby, the original.
And now I see that I need to add really bad past life readings.
That would be a hoot. No. It really would.
The only thing I guarantee you, no matter who sits in front of me, you are not a Viking. You are not fucking Cleopatra. In other words, I don't go for cliches because I'm convinced I've been in middle management my entire existence from the beginning of time, and that's as high as I went. And so I will project my own failures onto whoever's sitting across from me, because that's
honestly,
what I do.
Wes, if you want to make a killing, I would do the past life, and then I always read, do I have any spirits with me? What is my message?
Everybody has spirits with them.
Everybody wants to know. So Wes, you should do that too.
You gotta understand, Katie, there are some things that I just don't care about, and your entourage is one of them. Whoever you come in with, because as Bev, I do believe, first when people say, is someplace haunted? I believe damn near every place is haunted if you really want to shotgun out the definition. And so, yeah, do you have spirits hanging around with you? Yes, I'm sure there's some dead grandmother sitting right behind you right now complaining about how you look tonight. That's just...
That's what I asked last year at the gallery. I was like, is my dead grandparents, are they disappointed in me? So, that was my question.
And what'd they say?
They said that you went, you have to understand, they come from a different time. I'm like, true. I think you said that my grandma they just thought I was kind of weird. Or something. Like that my grandma was more supportive, but they just thought I was doing different things.
But they didn't see anything wrong with that. Yeah.
No. Different is good. That's good.
Yeah, different works out fine. Okay, we need to jump off now. We need to get in our Bonehead Weekly movie review. Before you click that button, I do want to remind everybody, this is my own personal plug. Beyond, of course, come see me at the Full Moon Sisters Bizarre Bazaar, my first public outing since my cardiac episode. Speaking, though, of cardiac episodes, my Patreon project is back online at a reduced price. I'm so desperate that I've actually reduced prices on it. But what I'm trying to do, everybody, you remember last week when I said I was going to run a 5K? By God, I decided I am going to try to train and do it. And so I am actually going... Oh, Bev, this was really cool. I told my physical therapist that I was going to run a 5K, and there was two of them in the room. The one I refer to as the hot one said, "Oh, really?" The other one looked at me like I had three heads. And I said, "Not in spring, next fall." So, that might be doable.
And then behind your back, they rolled their eyes.
Well, probably. But I do have a goal.
I absolutely think you could do that if you wanted to. I'm just wondering why you would want to. But that's because I don't like to run. Well,
okay. First of all, when I was young, I ran a lot. I ran regularly. My school didn't even have a track team. I did it because, well, it made me a babe magnet. What can I tell you? But
sure.
I've got several doctors that are acting like I'm the guy that they pulled from the grasp of death. And there's no other way to put it. I want to run a marathon just to give all my doctors a big screw you. I can do this. And that's my driving force. And it'll be on the news because there's only two ways this will go down. 6 o'clock news, it'll be, "Hey, this guy had a heart attack a year and a half ago, and now he's running a 5K. Let's interview him." Or, "Man drops dead during 5K. So, one way or the other, I'm going to be on the news. But yes, that is my goal. But anyway, I set up my Patreon project, everybody. It's going to go through the training process. It's also like tomorrow's entry will be about how I found out, started realizing that I needed to go to the doctor. and just things like that. So it's but you go to basically Patreon/Scarefest TV, and it's I call it my fan page. It's also called Cardiac Episodes. Now, Bonehead Weekly.
Hey, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, and you may be wondering, why is he wearing this cool shirt with a thing? Well, the reason being for this week is go watch The Thing. Watch anything except this piece of shit film we're going to talk about this week. It's awful. It's god-awful. It's terrible. Don't watch it. It's on Hulu. My friend Jake, who is a Scarefest alum, talks about Victor Salva, and I'm not going to get into it here, but he's the writer and director of the first 3 Jeepers Creepers movies. I'm going to talk about Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And what he said was, you probably shouldn't watch this, as I recall, and I don't mean to put words in Jake's mouth. And I don't disagree with him, because Victor will benefit no matter what, because he owns the Creeper, even though he had nothing to do with this movie. And that's probably true. I don't disagree with Jake. Just giving you props, Jake. Victor Salva, you can go Google it, his history and what it is. And if you don't know anything about Jeepers Creepers and the director of it, that's okay too. I like the first 2 Jeepers Creepers movies. I even like the cheap, direct, whatever, Sci-Fi Channel 3rd one. This 4th one, he's not involved in any way, shape, or form, and it's awful. It's terrible. It's god-awful. It was shot during COVID. It came out in 2022. It's shot in England with English actors trying to fake Louisiana accents, and they're all going to a convention called Horror Hound. And one of the characters has a Horror Hound shirt on the whole time. I have problems with the Horror Hound too. They never refunded tickets. Long story. But anyway, besides that, the acting's awful. The script is terrible. The Creeper they redesigned the Creeper. And basically the thing here is that the Creeper movies were based on what we're actually watching. Creeper Reborn. And those movies are based on what we're seeing now. The only defensible thing about this movie, is Dee Wallace, and is in a cameo in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And she's great, of this older couple who sees the Creeper throwing something down a well, and he goes and chases after them. That's the only good part of the movie. Thankfully, it's only about 80 minutes long, so you've got that going for you. But if you're a Jeepers Creepers fan, should you watch it? No, it's god-awful. Don't watch it. It's terrible. Are you going to watch it? Probably. You got a Hulu. Here's how bad it is. It's one of those movies that's shot on virtual sets where they add the CGI, where they just really shot it in England. And you can see the terrible CGI, and the creature mask is awful. It's almost, in the suit, it's almost like they bought it at a store. In fact, he goes to wipe his, and the teeth, fang thingies, you can see one move from the rubber. It's bad. This movie is bad. And I could accept all that if it was remotely interesting. There's other movies I've reviewed on here and go, well, I'll give you this positive. I'll give you this positive. No, this is a turd. It's awful. Jeepers Creepers Reborn is awful. There is nothing to defend except Dee Wallace. God bless Dee Wallace at the first of the movie. It's so bad. It makes no sense. I guess it's loosely based on a comic book series that came out sometime in 1817. They explained a little bit about how people have actually, what is it? They have, through voodoo, sacrificed humans so the creature can eat them, the Creeper. They don't even get the song because they can't afford the song. They don't get X, they don't get Y, they don't get Z. It's terrible. This movie is awful. So here's what you do. You don't watch this movie. You go out of your way to not watch this movie. Dee Wallace is good in this movie. That's it. Don't watch this movie. It sucks. Don't watch it. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. I'm going to watch Evil Dead Rise this weekend. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And rise. And hopefully I'll have a better review next week. But whatever you do, don't watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn. It's dreadful.
And welcome back, everyone, to Scarefest Television. That might have been Joe's best movie review that he's ever done. I'm just kidding. Except maybe for one of the ones that the cat like jumped on his head. But other than that was great. And I did tell everyone we're on patreon.com/Scarefest Radio. I have no idea why I used that title because I haven't anyway. Bev, what would, if you could, in these last few moments of the show, if there's anything we missed that you want people to know about the Full Moon Sisters Bazaar, what would you tell them? What do people need to know about it?
People need to know that we are doing this show to give people the opportunity to experience some things they may not have experienced before in a safe and happy environment. Every like a skeptic, you know, energy healing, Reiki, psychics. People are a little anxious, but they're curious. People right now are really curious and they're searching for new things. This event gives them the opportunity to come and visit and explore and play and have fun and not have to worry about how it looks or how woo-woo it is or how weird it is. It's just fun. So I'd say come because it's just something to do on a Saturday or a Sunday that weekend that you'll have fun doing. And you'll meet nice people. And that's why we do the shows. You certainly don't get rich off of doing shows. You do them for bigger reasons. You do them because you enjoy doing them and you do them so that people have a place to explore.
Beautifully
People
put.
like me.
Now, do you have somebody doing massage?
We are looking for a massage person. I'm so frustrated that we haven't been able to find one. For years, Rachel was our massage person.
Right.
And
but
Rachel Centron, and now she doesn't do that. And we had one who stepped down because they hurt their elbow. So that's something we don't have, and I'm very frustrated that we don't.
I know a connection. I can reach out to them. They're
Please
in
do.
Lexington.
Please do.
Yeah. There's something called the Lexington Healing Arts Academy, and they do like yoga, and my friend does massage. So maybe I'll see if they'd be interested
here
in
you go.
forward you that
See,
information.
we made a love connection tonight. A love.
That's
Getting,
why I'm here. That's why I'm allowed to be back.
okay, sure.
Oh, and also people should come because the face painter will do a tramp stamp if you really want one.
Don't even tell him that.
I have right.
No.
Nita, you got to shave my back, but you know what?
No. No.
Anita, he had a heart attack. He
Yes.
deserves a tramp
Yes.
stamp.
I deserve a tramp stamp. I actually. Little trivia.
That's what they told me today.
Now, if there's anyone new in the chat room, the bra that I refer to is I'm wearing what they call a life vest, which is an electrified bra. It's got a battery pack that weighs like 5-10 pounds, and it's a defibrillator in case something happens to me that has never come close to happening to me because lightning can't hit, I guess. Point being, it was beautiful the other day, and I really thought I was working out in the backyard, and I really thought about going and taking my shirt off just to get my first ever bra tan. The tan lines.
Oh, that's a good farmer's tan. Like, that's unique.
Anybody doing Reiki? Okay, back to Full Moon Sisters. Anybody doing Reiki?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There are a couple Reiki practitioners. There's Jinsen Jitsu. There's all kinds of methodologies there. People working on your body. You can get your feet soaked.
I'm almost gotten to the point. I'm embarrassed to take my shoes off in public. But Reiki, I haven't had Reiki for a long time. A good push the energy around and all that. So who knows if I can sell a couple of really bad tarot card readings, I'll have to get a Reiki thing. Reiki.
Or you could ask me. Jim and I were two of the first Reiki masters in Kentucky years ago.
I didn't know you did that.
I am a Reiki master teacher.
You got to remember, Bev,
years.
all I've known that you did when you were down to the mystical fair, you had that little cubicle you sat in. It was like a telephone booth, people. She sat in a telephone booth in the broom closet and did her little readings in there. And I honestly did not know that was one of your skills. So if
I have my master's in parapsychic science. I'm Reiki practice. I do all kinds of things.
She's the master of
You
it
should go on my
all.
website and read all the things I can do. That
I
don't do.
probably should. I probably should, and I should probably take more advantage of them. But I never get
Because
to
I
see.
could do distance Reiki anytime you needed it.
Tell you what, ask your spirits
Mhm.
if distance Reiki will work on. Now this sounds like a terribly improper thing to ask a Reiki master. Everyone in the chat room, I'm apologizing in advance, but there's no pretty way to put it. I need Reiki on my butt cheeks.
Okay.
Now, that sounds horrible, everyone. What it is, in my training already for the 5K, and just to get my heart back to pumping the way it's supposed to, I am putting in a lot of miles on a treadmill. I'm also walking a lot on the farm. I'm going out of my way to actually walk. And guess what's starting to hurt? My butt cheeks.
Do you have any arnica?
Yes, and I've used that on my lower leg, but I have not tried that on my hips. I didn't know how deep that stuff would work. Yeah, you sent me a
I'm
jar.
going to
but I
send
can't-
you the best brand. Well, I may have already sent you one. It's the best brand I know.
Okay.
And I can't remember what it is, but
I actually
you can see it.
I was going to have to be on my feet one day for like 4 hours working cattle, and my lower leg was kind of, and that it's just old age stuff. Everybody, no, calm down. I'm not having another heart attack. But I put it, and by golly, I was surprised at how quickly it worked.
It works very quickly.
Very almost instantaneous.
Arnica cream. Arnica is a tree bark that has medicinal effects. It has natural aspirin medicinal effects, but for the body, and it will take pain away pretty quickly. It doesn't last a long time. You have to put it on fairly often, but it works very well. Certain brands. This brand I sent you is very good.
So,
Can't remember what it is.
I don't remember either, but it was sitting on my table by my chair in there the other day, and I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And I was impressed. So we're at the top of the hour, everyone. The Full Moon Sisters Bazaar next weekend. Once again, it is on Southland Drive, 326. Is that right? Yeah. Hey, I remembered it. Yay. 326 Southland Drive, the Shriners Building, the Shriners Lodge. What do they even call that? This is the Shriners Temple. That's the word I was looking for. The Shriners Temple.
And you can come hear Steve Smith sing in his seminar.
Sounds good.
Bethany, and in the chat room, anybody in the chat room, Bethany just posted the link to that'll get you to the tickets to that. So, Bev, I want to thank you again for coming on. We other than a little inside baseball stuff, we didn't have to put you out to the masses to do one of your little gallery readings on here. Katie, thanks for jumping in on short notice.
Sorry.
And by the way, we actually have another show scheduled already for next week, and it's a famous person.
You gonna go ahead and announce?
Catherine Camey.
Yes.
Catherine Camey. I was afraid to mess her name up, but yeah. From Sleepaway Camp. That's what she's famous for. So,
Sleepaway Camp.
So,
Maybe we should do a camp woo-woo where everybody spends the night in their pajamas and we have an event. Their pajaj.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Because
Why not?
why not? Just
We can hunt ghosts. We can, do all kinds of things.
I
That sounds perfect.
I do need to take. What is wrong with my earbuds all of a sudden? Are they in my
They're
purse?
probably caught in your bra.
Okay. They're like
Everything
pulling.
else does.
Now I do. You know what? We need to take my dowsing rods to the
Yes.
temple because that's how I talk to spirits, long distance. Everyone, that's the kind of psychic I am. But it is fun.
I
Okay.
need
So
you to teach me how to use those.
okay.
They're easy. They're awesome. I just used them on a ghost hunt in Owensboro, and it was awesome.
I got
A
the
ghost
shape,
investigation.
So I get I get shaky with those. So then I'm like, is it me or is it a ghost? So
Well,
Limerick.
the secret to being shaky with them is not to use the ones with the handles that are
handles.
wrapped.
Oh.
You know, yeah. Use
Oh.
the big heavy ones made out of coat hangers, like we did back in my day.
Or sticks.
Ooh.
I've never tried the stick ones.
They work. They do.
There you go. See?
Well, thank you, Wes. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Nita.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week.